Hey, this is Warren Gordon.
And Chelsea Skeens.
Here for the party, here at the Boring Park. We're here with Joel Plaskett.
Hey!
So it's been, I don't know, roughly a year since you've been back here?
Yeah.
What have you been up to since, the last time you were here?
Well, I've sort of been in the process of building a new studio back home in Dartmouth. That's taken up a lot of my year, as well as there's been lots of gigs. Done a bit of producing in the new studio. I finished a record with Sean McCann from Great Big Sea that'll probably come out next year. Produced a solo record for him, as well as some songs for a gal named Meredith Shaw from Toronto. Song for Glory Hound. So I'm getting to work in the new space. But yeah, I got to say, like, building a studio was a big part of my year.
Oh.
And the shows have been great too. But they've sort of been like, they just kind of happen,
Yeah.
with me usually.
Yeah.
I was going to say with or without me, but if I don't show up, I get in trouble.
So are you glad to finally be back in Newfoundland?
I love it here so much. So yes, the answer is yes. I would have any opportunity to get to Newfoundland I take, because there was a lot of years where I didn't get here, and so I'm trying to make up for it by making it more annual at least.
Is this your first time performing with the Folk Fest?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I only other time I played in a park in Newfoundland was Thrusher came in like '94 and played the Peace Accord. I don't know if that was in Bannerman Park or where it was, but it was
probably Bannerman.
Yeah. So but I never played the Folk Fest. It's nice to get the invite, and I have my father here with me tonight, which will be a fun show.
So speaking of playing with your dad, how does performing with your dad kind of different than playing with the Emergency?
Totally different kind of show,
For sure.
Not as it's not a rock show. It's more of a folk show, My dad and I have kind of a real duo guitar approach. I play a lot of tenor guitar. He plays a lot of six.
Yeah.
And I like it because it means I can tap into songs that I don't get to do with the Emergency because they're a little too delicate. So I find the set changes a lot. Sometimes it's a little bit of a shock for people who are expecting an Emergency show because it's got a pretty different pace to it.
Yeah.
But I got to say, I love doing it because it just allows me to really explore the other side of the catalog, and also just spend time with my father, because even though we live in the same city, we don't see each other that much because I'm busy.
Yeah.
So, is there any chance of like a song or like an album coming out with yourself and your dad?
I don't know. He's played on my albums in the past. I'd love to do something for him where he'd sing some songs, because I think he's going to do one tune tonight.
Okay.
And but the more we can do together, the better. I try and involve him in projects at least. It would be cool to do something that was really focused around him and I. It's just a matter of actually having the material to make that work, and what we do really works for certain things. But for rocky stuff, that's kind of when I go to my band,
Do you find that you and your dad kind of influence each other music-wise, or do you find that you're kind of, different on your own levels?
He's certainly influenced me, from being a kid on up. A lot of my record collection and tastes were I inherited from him, and then I dove into later too. I discovered records in his collection that suddenly I was like, oh, now I know who Bert Jansch is, or Paul Brady. There's been some great stuff he's turned me on to. It's really, I really think that we have kind of like a great musical connection, and I know he enjoys playing with me too, because it's like, I think the guitar playing, a lot of what I learned I got from him, and so there's a kind of natural weave to when we're playing together. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So you're playing at a folk fest, which is obviously outside, big field. Do you kind of have a preference between playing, on a stage or outside, inside?
I gotta say, variety is, the spice of life.
Yeah.
It sounds corny, but it's true. So I like coming to Newfoundland and playing a new venue. Mm-hmm. Great. I love going back to a venue I've been at too. That can be really great. But I love it when I feel like I'm getting in front of a different audience.
Yeah.
Different vibe. Like last year we played Kitty Vitty.
Yep.
And it's great. There's all these, and that was in a park, I guess, too, wasn't it? So it's my third park performance. I correct myself.
It's pretty cool. So, what does keep you coming back to Newfoundland? You're always talking about it when you're here, but what kind of draws you back in? Because we're such a small little island.
Well, the landscape's lovely, but really, it could be as as beautiful as you want. If the people weren't nice, you wouldn't come back, and that's really the bottom line. Is I always feel welcome here, and I really feel a connection with my audience here too. I got to say, like, of all the shows where people sing, Newfoundland is like the best, you know. And I mean, I rate my Halifax shows really highly, but I would as being, you know, I love playing at home in Halifax and Dartmouth, but I gotta say, people sing along in Newfoundland like
for sure.
thunderously. It's awesome.
Sometimes it's hard to hear the actual
Sometimes
performer.
it's hard to hear the performer, and sometimes I can't hear myself. But I gotta say, there's this footage of people singing at the Breezeway with us, singing "Workout Fine" on the internet. If you Google "Workout Fine," there's a performance from the Breezeway that somebody shot from in the audience, and the crowd singing is just unbelievable. It's so good.
Yeah. So you're playing with Mo Kenny tonight.
Yeah.
What are your, I guess, thoughts on her as a performer and as a person?
I love Mo. I mean, I produced a record, so I'm biased, but I think that she's really, I think she's great, super talented, and I would like any opportunity where we get to share the stage. So we're gonna sing a song together tonight, and and we're gonna start a new record in the fall. I think she's just awesome and really real. That's what I love about what she does. She's got a natural singing voice. She's a natural performer and writer, and it's not like there's nothing really forced about it. She just comes by it in a really authentic way. I believe it, you know. I believe her.
Are there any other people on the bill tonight that you're kind of a fan of?
Well, I wish I could stay for the whole weekend too, because it's the whole festival stacked. But like Tim from Hey Rosetta is playing, and I think I would love to watch everybody. Unfortunately, I have to boogie for Kingston first thing in the morning, so I'm gonna go get some food in my belly and get back and try and catch as much as I can, and then I'll be off. I might see a little late night St. John's tonight if I can, but I don't know. I got like a flight at the crack of dawn, so
that might be a little bit difficult.
Could be a little tough.
So one last question.
If you see me at the ship, tell me to go home, okay?
What's kind of coming up in the future? What's in the next year?
I got to make another record of some sort. I'm going to make a record with Mo in the fall, a record of my own in some fashion. Got a couple other projects production-wise coming my way. I have a couple shows with the Symphony in the fall in Halifax.
Okay.
Lots of gigs percolating, cool stuff. There's always something going on.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm trying to also be a human being and stay at home and spend some time with my family too.
Yeah.
You know, so,
It's always a balance.
It is a balance. It's a challenge.
Okay, well, thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Yeah, cheers.